Good morning, lovely people. So it's Suze Crystal Wolf from Crowfire Talk. I just thought I would come on as I'm emerging from my wintering. Yeah, I've had a long break. I've also set up another YouTube channel, which is probably completely ridiculous because I'm struggling to do the ones that I've got. So this was my first channel, which was for me to come on and chat and talk things spiritual and talk runes and all of that jazz. And then because I'm an art witch, and a lot of my practice involves my art that is specific for my practice, or things that if I want to make a rune, I want to work with a thala, and so I might make a clay rune, I might make a picture, I might do something that connects me in with those energies. So I set up another channel which was for my art, which actually I've now got 1,000 subscribers, which is amazing. But then I can't really talk spiritually because it's more generalized, and the people that have subscribed are more generalized. I think there's a couple of people that know about sort of spiritual artwork or art witchery type of thing. So I decided to set up another channel that is more art witchery. So this is Crowfire Talk. Then I have Crowfire Soul Crafting, which is my first art crafty channel. And now my new channel is Crowfire Art Witchery. So I haven't really got many subscribers for that. So if you want to subscribe and see how I practice my witchcraft through art, then please subscribe. That'd be lovely. But I thought I'd come on because I haven't made a video for ages, and I've had lots going on. So I've got lots going on with my mum and dad's health, especially my mum's. So that's been happening. And then I sort of looked at it and I thought, yeah, I'm wintering. I've entered the cave. I'm not doing so much. And I think it's so natural that we truly forget what's happening, and then our human brains start going, oh well, what's wrong with me? I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. Oh, I spent months doing that and I was really enjoying it, and now I've stopped. And we forget we've entered a different season, we've entered a different stage of our paths and our normal everyday life, because let's face it, our spiritual path is or should be immersed into our human life. They should if not be enmeshed together, they should be running side by side. I've learned over the years that mine is now integral and is part of my everyday life. Anyway, so I'm emerging from winter, and last year I did really connect in with my path, and I really sort of got the magnifying glass out on it, and I realized that I was not really being I wouldn't say authentic, because I think I'm always authentic, but the path didn't feel authentic. And I was like, okay, well, that's fine, because we grow, we change, and we get rid of things. I looked backwards and I realized that I dropped things that absolutely are so part of me, and that is doing my readings. And I managed to amass a few decks last year, quite a few new ones. I got some for Christmas. I've got a couple here that I've just started working with. The Archetypes by Kim Krans, fantastic. I've just literally done a spread with this one, the doorway spread. Amazing. I'll leave the book out and then I can tell you about that spread, because I think you'd all find, I think you could use different cards to do it, yeah, it just I've just literally finished sitting down doing a spread, and I realized that doing spreads was massively part of my practice. I'm not the sort of person that has to douse to find out if I need to go and put my washing on and things like that. But I was using spreads every day. Mostly I did the morning star spread, which goes with my Sacred Path cards, which are my main set of cards that I still use to this day, and have really combined them with my runes. So there's a real weaving together of very different parts of the world and philosophies and cultures and all sorts going on, but actually it works perfectly because the foundation that I set in place with my Sacred Path cards is so firm and strong that I can add in the runes. And being an eclectic practitioner anyway, the whole point of being eclectic is that we weave together different strands of different things and bring it together. So as I was looking through my practice with the fine-tooth comb and a magnifying glass, I realised that I had really dropped the ball on certain things. I was still practicing, I was still doing stuff, especially with the runes, because they came in so strong in the last well, I suppose 6 years, 4 years really strong, where I started the course with Maggie Rose Cunningham, the Awakening course with the runes. But I realised that the way I'd worked with the cards, I hadn't actually moved that to the way I could work with the runes, which was daft, and I've started doing that now and it's brilliant. So I would literally get my cards out. I've never disrespected my cards. I've never faffed around with them, but I also realised that you can have fun with them and you don't have to be so rigid in your practice. So a lot of people would, light their candle, light their incense. I love doing that. I think it's lovely. And if you really want to do a special deep reading and you want to add in those bits, get your favorite crystal out, lay down a spread and really do that, it's wonderful. I can't knock it. It's just superb. But also you can just sit there on your bed and just shuffle your cards and pull out some and read them and look at them. And it gets you to learn them. Sacred play is what Maggie Cunningham calls a lot of stuff. So I think sacred play with my cards and my runes and things is fantastic. But I had actually stopped doing that so much. So towards sort of the middle of last year, I started bringing that back into my practice. And like I say, I did end up buying quite a few decks of cards. And to be honest, I bought another set. I bought a set when I was in Glastonbury. I went to Glastonbury on the 1st of February. And I actually met my rune teacher and friend, Maggie Rose Cunningham, for the first time in real life. We've only met on Zoom so far. So that was lovely. And I bought this set of cards, and these are really interesting because I don't quite agree with a lot of what the person is saying, but I don't disagree at the same time. So it's quite so these bring a lot of curiosity to me at the moment. I pulled the card this morning, Northease, and it said about sorrow and all sorts of things. And I was like, Yeah, I can see that in there. And yesterday I pulled Yera, which said harvest, and I was like, hang on a minute, that doesn't quite work for me because Yera is at the winter solstice on the wheel of the year, the runic wheel of the year. So I was like, well, how does that work then? And I was like, well, Yera is the year rune, so of course harvest is in there as well. So these are yeah, these are intriguing me actually, because they're giving me another perspective. And with the runes, as I've always said, are like diamonds, and they have many faces and facets and many things to unveil to us. So this has been interesting. I love working with animal cards anyway, so I had to buy these when I saw them. Do I have enough rune cards and runes? Yes, probably. Will I carry on buying rune cards when I see new ones come out? Yes, probably. Um, yeah, I remember buying a set of rune cards, and I disagreed with the what the author had said, and I immediately got rid of them. And now that I've grown in that area of dismissing what someone else is saying in the respect of the runes. So I think when you first start learning something, you stick with the sort of very generic stuff that's out there, and then when you really start deep diving into the runes, you realize that they just have so many sides to show you. So you do learn. So it might have been best to keep those rune cards, and I could have used them in a different way. So when I picked Northeast this morning, Northeast to me is the Needfire rune, and it's the rune of your needs, not your desires. So what do you truly need rather than what are you desiring? So say it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and you're flagging, and you know you can't actually take a nap because you're busy, which is what you probably should be doing, but you know our world doesn't allow for that very often. So you grab a bar of chocolate instead, because that'll give you a little bit of a boost, a sugar rush, and keep you going for a bit longer time, when your actual true need would be to take that little nap, or look at some other form of something that will lift you a bit. So maybe it'll be get up and do a bit of stretching and moving, and that will give you that little bit of boost, instead of the bar of chocolate. Quite often I think we reach for the bar of chocolate or the cup of coffee. I don't drink coffee really very often, but anyway, so yeah, so I'm still sort of, I did sell a massive amount of cards a good few years ago. I sold many sets. I've used cards for years, and I did become quite a collector. I think some of it was collecting. But I did use all my sets of cards within my teaching practice, when I was running my spiritual spiritual and self-development circle. We used cards a lot in that, to meditate with, to work with, to do shadow work with, all sorts of things. So I did have quite a collection. But I decided that, one, I didn't have the room when I moved here, and two, I wasn't using them because I didn't have my group anymore. And so some sets of cards would not be picked up again for good knows how long. But now I've realised that actually that was probably a mistake. There was a couple of really unusual sets that I got rid of that I can't get now, and I sort of regret it a bit. On some I'm not too bothered about. I haven't missed them, I haven't thought about them, and I've bought new decks that are are more for where I am now, because a lot of the time as well, as we move through our growth periods, things change for us and ideas change. And so actually buying new decks and releasing old decks is quite a good way of working with your path and how you're moving. So the other thing I really connected in with was the Wheel of the Year. Now, I'm not Wiccan, but when I started my witchcraft path and things, I did discuss this a bit in my new video on my other channel, my newer channel, Crowfire Art Witchery, as I was showing stuff that I'd done yesterday. So there, if you'd like to go and listen to a bit of that, you can do. So I realised that the Wheel of the Year, being Wiccan, and me not being Wiccan, I'd hate to say I was a bit like a sheep, but I think I probably was. I just did it because the books that I was buying back in the day when I started out were really Wiccan based, or Wiccan. It was the only way I could get information. There wasn't really a lot of other witchcrafty books that weren't really based in or had some form of Wicca running through it. And I love Samhain. So Samhain, I love the energy of it. I love the liminal space energy. I love the veil thinning energy. It's a magical, mysterious time of year. But that time of year, if you take away Samhain and you take away Halloween, it still holds that energy, and I love it. So, but I did a few years ago think, well, Samhain isn't the beginning of the year for me, whereas a lot of people follow Samhain as the beginning of the year. It never felt right to me. I move towards Imbolc, but Imbolc has no meaning to me whatsoever. I just don't. I've never had any. It just doesn't do anything for me. Beltane doesn't really do anything for me. Summer solstice, winter solstice, love. Spring equinox and autumn equinox, love, but not as Ostara and the other one, Mabon. So I sat and I really contemplated this, and I realized that I am just following something because it was something that I attached myself to because I didn't know how to navigate it myself. Always been connected to the seasons, and that stems from my deep connection with the I Ching and the way the Chinese philosophies and the way they look at stuff. So maybe if I'd have discounted the Wheel of the Year and looked through my Chinese lens, I would have found my way differently, but I didn't do that. So I very loosely followed the Wheel of the Year, but I didn't form any type of practice because I just couldn't connect with the Wheel of the Year. So I sat looking at this, I sat contemplating, and I was like, I'm going to set up my own wheel. And then I thought about renaming the festivals, so coming up with something that made sense for me. So like, you know, Imbolc for me is the time of the year where the snowdrops come up, so I thought about calling it something to do with snowdrops or something like that. And then I thought, I'm just complicating this. It doesn't need to be complicated. It can be very, very simple. So let's just say that I connect and keep the solstices, because I love the word solstice. It just makes sense. And the equinoxes, they make sense. They're there. So So I thought I'm going to use them. And then I looked at those other ones, like the 1st of February in bulk. And I thought, well, I would just call them what they are. And they, for me, are gateways, because they are a movement between one season to another season, but we're not in the next season. So we're not in the last season and we're not in the next season. So it's a liminal space. I was like, oh my goodness. And it just happened for me. It was like, this is perfect. So so I connected with that. So I thought, yeah, I'm just gonna connect in with those dates. And the other thing that I did decide to do is I decided to keep it simple by keeping the dates exactly the same every year. I know, you know, we have a slight difference when the like, oh god, can't speak now, like we have like a leap year and things like that, and the dates slightly change and things. I thought, I'm not going to do that. I want it simple. So I'm doing the 21st of December as the solstice, 21st of June as summer solstice, 21st of September as autumn, and 21st of March as spring. And I'm keeping that, and I'm keeping then the 1st of the month. So the 1st of Feb, the 1st of May, the 1st of August, and the 1st of November. That works for me. It's simplified, it's easy, and then I can work with my runic wheel of the year. So 21st of December, we've got Yera. The 1st of Feb, we've got Algies. The 21st of March is Bacano. The 1st of May is Largus. 21st of June is Dagaz, and Thurazaz, the 1st of August. Kinaz, 21st of September. Hagalaz, the 1st of November. So that is just brilliant, works perfectly. And the other thing I've done, they just came to me, and it was like, well, the solstices and equinoxes are doorways, and the in-betweenies are gateways. And it just came as I was writing down what I was doing. So I just literally wrote doorway, and then I just literally wrote gateway. You'd think I would have done doorway the same, but it was like, no, there's a difference. The doorway, I'm going through, I'm in it. It's winter solstice, I'm right smack in the middle of it. That's it. Whereas the gateways were the worlds between. So I'm moving from late winter into early spring, or either side, and Algies is maroon, and that's the 1st of February. So that's what I've done. So I've done this sheet, which I already did, and I got a bit wrong, so I've had to redo it, and I've done it in different colours than I did it in the first one. So I've got late winter, early spring gateway, 1st of Feb. I've got late spring, early summer gateway, 1st of May. Then I've got late summer, early autumn gateway, and last but not least, late autumn, early winter gateway. So I'm loving that. This is going to be exactly how I'm going to work. And then I'm going to have practices, which will change probably each year. I might want to do something with Yera, and I might do a piece of artwork. I might do a ritual. I might do both. You know, so as every year it is not necessarily going to be exactly the same, but I'll end up with practices for each of my what will I call them? My doorways and my gateways. Festivals, they'll still be sort of my festivals. And I have started a few bits. I decided to set up a booklet for each, which I will add in. So these will grow over time, and I will have maybe recipes, rituals. I'll put down crystals that connect with spring for me, trees, plants. So it'll end up being a lovely book on spring that will be my own practice. But there'll be generic stuff out there that is out there in the world. So, and then each year there'll be differences. So like this year, we're Year of the Snake. So that's very specific. I will probably do something connected with that when I'm working with some of the artwork that I'll be doing this year. So that'll be quite specific for this year. So Year of the Snake, we're shedding the old, we're being rebirthed, we're shedding that skin, we're moving in. So it's very spring energy anyway, but it's that energy of the year. And the other thing that I work with is my personal numerology for the year. So my personal numerology is 8 this year. I'm always a year behind the year. So 8 is about expansion, which was what last year's universal energy was about. So so this year I'll be expanding, but I'll be shedding. So as I'm expanding, there'll be shedding going on. So it's quite a good combination. I like the fact that I'm a year behind the year with my personal number, because it gives me a chance to catch up. So I can personalize that. So the books that I'm really connected with at the minute to go with this, let me move that one, is I'm working with Soul Healing and Spirit Dancing by Angela Kittock. Yeah, fabulous book. It's got it's psychological. It's working on your yourself, a seasonal journey to embody the balance, peace and joy that is your birthright. So you've got a lot of self-helpy type of stuff in it, and she gives you she gives you questions to answer, and you have it starts in March, which makes perfect sense to me. So she got you get your March practice, then you go into April, and she talks about April and how the energies are and what sorts of things to do in April, and then you get your April practice and so forth through the book. So that is my sort of Bible for this year. That will be what I will be really working with. The other one that goes with it, slightly different, Mystic's Guide to Inner Transformation, The Seasonal Soul, by Lauren Aletta. Yeah, oh my god, this book is so gorgeous. It's been done like a art journal-y type of thing. Oh my god, it is so gorgeous. Now she starts in winter. There's a lot of chakra stuff in here, which is great because I love working with the chakras. But it starts in winter. So I've skipped winter into the cave. I've completely skipped that, and I'm on the spring part. And there's all exercises and stuff. And I've bought a lovely journal to journal all my my seasonal stuff. So oh my god, I'm loving this. I'm really loving this. So this was the spread I did this morning, which is so fantastic. I want to share it. Doors of Wisdom. So you have the first door is of initiation. This is the first step to take to take. It must be done before everything else, even if you would rather avoid it. This card may remind you of a person, a situation, a memory, or a dream. The second card is the Door of Fortune. This is the door you will then be led into. Here you will find a new fortune, interest, or boon. The third door is of Resistance. This is a new depth that will challenge your ego and your willingness to continue. This is ultimately why you may hesitate to take the step card 1 requires. And then the last one is the Door of Destination. This is a vision of the future possibility. It may be hard to relate to this card now, but eventually as you take the steps towards it, more will come into focus. For now, it remains elusive, waiting for you. Now, like I said, I've just done this, and the hilarious thing was the Door of Resistance, I got the Sun, which is about ego anyway, and it's about the male energy and the action and all of that. Not so much in the Northern tradition, because we see Suna as the sun, and it's a feminine energy rather than the masculine in most cultures. But what was hilarious is I connected in with that sun card, and I was thinking about it being like true, like your true self, as in like your zodiac signs and all of that sort of thing. So it always takes me back to my birth runes, because that is one of my main practices nowadays, is my birth runes. So anyway, I then threw some runes and for that one, the Door of Resistance, I got my own sun rune, Uruz. I was like, no way, that is just like bizarre. You can't make this stuff up. It's so funny. So that was interesting. It's like the Door of Resistance is for me the door of me, and that sort of made sense as I'm shedding all this stuff and moving forward with a different way of thinking and a different way of doing stuff. It you know, like going back into my past self and looking at that, and then shedding parts of it, and then bringing stuff forward that had been neglected, and I'm just re-emerging out into this spring energy with. It just fascinated me. I wanted to share it. And the other book that I'm really delving back into is My Fragments of Light, Richard Rudd. Just, I love, do you know, I got this out the other night. I thought I need to like really start going through it. And this book is great if you just want something, and you can just pull it open and connect with something. The yin is the power of softness, the power of waiting, the power of clarity that comes through time. So you could just read something like that and just, you know, contemplate it. One of his other books, The Art of Contemplation. Oh my God, I can't recommend that book enough. It is phenomenal. It's so good. But I opened it and I read a bit, and then I got to something, and I read it over and over and over again. And I told this to one of my rune sisters the other night, because I was just, I couldn't stop reading it. Oh, here it is. And I just thought it connects with spring and stuff. Really think about every seed that you sow in your life. Every thought, word and deed. How you think of people, how you speak to people, and the decisions you make. Every single one of those things is a seed that you are planting in the universe. And every single one of those moments will sprout. Think of all those moments sprouting and then growing into trees. What have you sown? Is it a beautiful orchard full of fruit trees, or is it lots of thorny brambles so tangled that you can't get through? Ask yourself, what am I sowing in my life in every present moment? I swear to God, I read that about 10 times. I just kept reading it and reading it and reading it. And I was like, oh, it's so apt for this year, for the energies of a 9 year, a completing year. It's so apt we're apt for everyone, and it's really apt for the energies of the planet at the moment. I mean, it's apt forever, really. I mean, we should always be coming back to this. And this I'm going to write out. This is going to go in my spring journal, probably in this one, because I mean, really, it should go in every season, but it's so spring. It's just spring. So I just wanted to come on. I just wanted to say hello because I haven't been on for so long. This is what I've started as well. This is going to be a little booklet for spring. It's just for this year. I might make a different one next year. I might make something different. It's just honouring spring, the energies. I've got Bacano on there already, and I'll just do a few pages. I've got some more to ink up, to dye and colour, and I don't know how big it's going to be. It's going to have all sorts of bits and words and stuff, and yeah, this will be, I'll be showing more of this on my other channel, the Art Witchery channel. So if you want to see more of that coming to life, that'll be on that channel. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to go for now. Love and blessings to you all, and I shall see you in the next one. And I hope you're all emerging from your wintering well, and I hope you're feeling that little buzz and excitement of the early spring starting to build. Obviously we've still got winter in there, so we've still got lots of energies melding and mixing. We're in the half month of Swallow, so we have got the sun back to guide us to I think Swallow at this time of year is so perfect because it's like, yeah, the compass is being given, the maps being given, and you can just start to follow that energy, that direction that the sun, that Swallow gives us. Oh, I didn't connect that with my rune and card from that that doorway spread. I need to re-look at that. Anyway, I'm going to go this time, definitely, and I will see you in the next one. Love and blessings. Bye, everyone.